Okay, so today is on Moodle Organization or Moodle Cleanup 101. I don't know anything about anybody's Moodle classes in this room, and I'm not using anyone's in this room as an example.
Okay.
But I will say the whole reason this is a class is because there are some classes that I'm going to say the word abysmal is probably the best word I could use if I was a student or parent at that class or trying to look at that class. So if students or parents come to your Moodle course, will they think this teacher is really organized, this online stuff is easy to follow, and I know right where my student should be? Or do they think, which is, I really like this. No, I'll get there. This is really confusing. No wonder my student is failing. Okay? Because even if we put great stuff on our Moodle course and make it viewable in a semi-inaccessible way, if a dummy can't come to your class and know where we're at, and I'm not saying students are dummies when I say that, but I'm saying they are kids, and it has to be something a kid can find. And by the way, I'm not saying mine is perfect, but we're going to go through some of the steps that I think will make your class easier to go through. Okay, so the number one thing that most teachers, especially those that are using a class that they've had for the last 10 years, haven't done is organize their topics. Okay, so simply naming your topics by topic makes it simpler for students to be able to find where they are.
Put them in the topics?
Now, when I say this, there are ones out there that the topics are quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4.
Oh, yeah.
And if yours is like that, stop. Okay? And when I say organize it by subject, make it something that you know we're doing biomes, so all I have to do is go to the section on biomes. The student knows the current subject of the class, or by chapter, we're working on chapter 3, however you want to break it up, but it should break up some logical way. So we want to separate our topics into reasonable chunks. We want to name them. And we're going to do these things. We want to add the course menu so students can go right there to whatever the current topic is. It's best if we highlight the current topic, which makes it easily, visually, boom, that's what we're doing. And then the last one, which is it's one that I would say 75 of the teachers need to fix, is to have nothing on the main page outside of the topic. So when you go to a class, you see an index of the course, and you immediately know that one's highlighted, that's where we're at right now. So I copied somebody else's class, renamed it, and made it my own to use as an example. So when I come into this class, and this one is actually not terrible, okay? And that's why I used it, because I could have grabbed a terrible one, but then
use mine and
that would be bad. So if we go into this class, I've already added the course menu over here, and that's exactly what this is. Now, if it's grayed out, the students don't see those. Okay, the students only see the things that are bolded, so just so you know. But to go in here, I don't know what I'm clicking on. I've renamed this one already. It just says topic 1. So my first thing was to name my topic. So what does that mean? If I go down here, instead of topic number 1, this section is on class expectations. It says it down here as the old thing from the old way Moodle used to be. It has it down there. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to turn editing on. And to name my topics, all I have to do is click the pencil and put class expectations in there. And I have to enter when finished. If I click anywhere else on Moodle, I did nothing. It still says topic number 1, which is one of the things that for some reason frustrates people. Escape to cancel. It should say anything else to cancel, enter when finished. And if I hit enter now that topic is called class expectations. And if I hit refresh, here, I'll just turn this off. Now it says up here class expectations. So on my menu for my students, if I just name those, they can go plunk right to the section that we're on by naming those. And when I look at this, it says all this stuff about class expectations. Does that need to be here? And I'm going to say, when I said have nothing else up there, I'm going to turn editing on, and I'm going to go to this section. All this stuff here is in the header of this section, and I'm going to say it doesn't belong there. or doesn't need to be there if we want to clean it up. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to hit edit here, and you'll see that all that stuff is up here in the topic, and I'm going to delete all that. Because really, all I want on the area that set here, I got to go undo, turn off editing for a second. All I really want this to be is an index of the class when I'm in this collapsed form.
I think that box
So they can
looks
find
like so inviting. I need to put something in this box.
And when you do it, just kind of, and I'm not saying you
It
couldn't.
makes it
There's
bigger.
really nothing terrible about that explanation of it being there. But if you really want them to just see when they go to that exact same thing, I'm going to turn editing on. And I'm going to add an activity, and I'm just going to, if I want that to be there at the top of it, I'm just going to add that exact same thing as a label. I'm going to paste it right in there. And I'm going to hit save and return to course. And now it still just says class expectation. Oh, let me go there. So it still just says class expectations. And when I click to go in that section, now I've got that information in there that's there. Now there's nothing else in this section, by the way. So it was just kind of filling up that page, and really there was no class expectations in it anyway. Again, and I may have deleted some of those things that are in there. So
how do we make the course menu that you talked about?
okay, so that's just a block. If I turn editing on and I go down here to the blocks, now it doesn't show up here because it's
Add a
already on
block.
there. You just add a block and say course menu,
Okay.
and that will drop it. And I think that makes it way easier for students to jump to where you are. Especially now, first quarter, it doesn't make a difference. It's all up top, right? But once we get to second semester on a year-long course, those things start to, and once you've got editing on, once it's on there, you can just drag this, and you can just put it wherever you want.
So
in your
if
course.
that's on there, they can just, instead of dragging, scrolling down, they can just click over there on the left now. Correct?
Yes, right. They can just
Wow.
click right on it to go right to what the current section is. I think it makes it
That's
easier
cool.
for them to go bump right to what we're doing because, my class is really long now. So we're on chapter 15, and especially if they're doing it on their phone or something, now they can just go boom and go right to
The ones that
person
are bolder are the ones that are currently
that
on.
are currently visible. Right? If they're bold, they're currently visible. This topic number 6 is invisible to my students.
If I make it invisible, then it makes the grades invisible to them also. Is that
Yes,
correct?
it does. And I will
So
say
anything I'm doing this quarter, I want to leave visible.
And I will tell you, I don't hide anything anymore in the course because they can pop right to it anyways this way. So the point that we used to hide all these things to make it
Uh-huh.
easier to get down to,
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about that anymore. They just go right to that section when they get to that
Okay.
section. And when I say take things off the main area, this whole general area, does that belong there in my class? Do I need to? Do they every day they come into government? Do they need to see that what government is? And I would say no. I would say this: all assignments not turned in on Wednesday prior to the day. That's part of the class expectations. That's one thing that I could say. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to turn editing on. And again, this is in that top section up there, so no one can get rid of it. They have to see it every single time they come into the course. I'm not sure it belongs there. I think that belongs down here with my class expectations. And I'm going to add another label down here and put that exact same thing, because that is my class expectation, right? So why would I put it anywhere else except for in the area that's about class expectations? I'm going to actually drag that first. My class expectations, it looks a little funny because of my screen resolution. But so now, if I'm a student, and by the way, you can always go here and go switch role to, and I'm going to switch role to student, which I have tons of roles. So now this is what when they come to my class, this is what they see. Have you read the syllabus? Maybe it belongs in class expectations too, right? I don't need anything else up here. And this, where it says general, might be where I put the word government. And so now I can go down here, and you can see a bunch of those are hidden, but none of them are highlighted. So where are we at in the course right now? That was one of the things that I said. I would separate the topics, name the topics, add the course menu, and then I'd highlight the current topic. So if we're currently down here in, let's see, I'm going to
Yeah, the highlighting,
my role.
kids just know what the highlighting
Yeah,
is all about.
so actually this one's highlighted and hidden, so that didn't help out at all. They didn't even see that this one was
Be contradictory.
yeah. So, and if you've never highlighted a topic, all that is with my editing on, under next to the thing, I just, where it says edit, I can go highlight, and now this is what the students see as the current highlighted and current topic in my class. I would say those things alone make it now easier to find your stuff. So if I'm gonna go down to the next topic, this was on E-Days. This is all on E-Days, so it would be so much easier for my students to find the E-Days if I just name the topic E-Days. This is pre-test. I already did introduction. I don't know it cuts it off anyway, so I don't know why I need to say to government when it's a government class. Isn't this the introduction and we're in government? I don't know. I'm just saying things to say. It might be course introduction, but look how much stuff is in that. There's a lot of stuff in one section that's course introduction. This is the U.S. Constitution. I can't copy that.
I have kind of a random question.
Yeah.
I was adding topics so I can organize it better, and one of my topics is called sidebar. I don't know what the heck that is.
Okay, that Constitution. I spell it right? Okay, that is old, and sidebars don't really work anymore. So you might want to move it out of that and delete that one because it doesn't really work anyway anymore.
Okay, thanks.
That was an old thing on the old Moodle version that does not currently work. So now if my students come in, they can see the sections on the side, they can click on it and go straight to that section. And when they're in that section, this stuff up top all is gone, so it's easier. And I will say that this person's course is she's done a really nice job using labels and stuff to highlight and organize things to make it easier within a particular section. That's why I like this one as an example, because the fixing of those things, it takes 30 seconds just to name the topics. The other thing that some courses haven't done is they don't have it so that it's collapsed to that, to this view. And if you're showing every single part of your Moodle course when students come on it, that's over here in the edit settings. And if I go to edit settings and down here to the appearance, is it the appearance? Or is it in the format? It's in the format, sorry.
All right, go to the next page.
Right here, the last thing under course format is defaulted from the old way Moodle did it was only the show all sections on one page. And when they added this one section per page is when it became easier to have the index view, because I really only want to show a section at a time. There's no time where students should be working in two sections at once. That's the whole idea of having these sections broke out so that they know I'm on this and all the stuff I'm doing now is in here and it shouldn't be anywhere else, right? I shouldn't have to go from this section to this section. I move sections as I complete a chapter test or we've moved on to new learning material. And that way it makes it so that I can have less stuff viewable at a time when I'm on there. Cleans up the page and makes it easier to understand for our students.
Can I ask a question?
You certainly can.
I'm trying to log in. I know my password now, but it goes to a student. So, what am I doing wrong?
Okay, so just put it over it.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
And then go over that. That's. You didn't put the right password in. That's what it's saying. And go and log on, try again.
But it goes back to Miller, and it's not going to be the password.
No, but it wasn't Miller when you did it. Put in your P. Hamilton again. And why is it showing up as Miller if you?
I don't know. That's what I was trying to figure out.
Okay, and it's because you're in Chrome and he's logged on to your Chrome account.
It's probably downstairs
Yeah.
where we did a test. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you've got to put in your password. It'd say go ahead and put in your password, but it's saying whatever you're putting in as your password into Moodle is wrong. That's why it keeps coming back to that.
Okay, well then we'll just...
Well, it's whatever you logged onto the computer. It's the same password you used to log into the computer.
Oh.
Are you putting your Gmail in or something? Is that why?
Probably.
There you go. You were putting in your Gmail password.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the thing. I show one section per page, and that's how I get to this view. And I like calling it the index view for the students, so they can just see. And again, like all these down here, they're not under the topics. It would take nothing to say, okay, this is really this. Click on it and rename that section. So that's the first and simplest thing. And I really don't want to move on to this until you guys have had a chance to do it on your own courses.
Okay. Yeah, give me 1 minute.
Pause so you have a chance to do it, because this is not an overly in-depth session. I wanted more of it to give you a chance to do it on your own courses as we go.
Okay, so now I'm on my Moodle page, but, okay, so I've got life skills now. What is, see, I haven't really done much this year because I couldn't, we're doing something different, so.
And it may be something, if especially on your part, Pat, if you're a co-teacher in a class,
Of course.
this might be something that you take back. And first of all, if it still says topic 1, topic 2, I don't think any teacher, if you're co-teaching with them, is going to go, what did you do? You remain, I want that to be named topic 6. I don't think anyone's ever going to say that. So if you're co-teaching with someone and you have access to it and you rename their topics to the actual topic name,
I got to where
I don't think anyone's going to be upset at you. Because those were just the default names when we upgraded the summer before last. Many teachers have never gone and renamed those things.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I like to put upcoming due dates as soon as they open up my page.
Okay.
Should that be its own topic?
Okay, so, and we're going to get to that, but I'll answer your question. If there are things I always want to be visible, no matter what, I just don't put it here, I put it as a side thing. So it's always, I can make it so it's always right here, so they see, and that's what, if you...
Is that a block then?
So I add, I gotta turn it. So let's say I want that to be the first thing they see on this side. So I go and add a block called an HTML block, which is really how we use the old sidebars. Okay.
Okay.
So I have this HTML block. I'm gonna drag it all the way up top here. I use HTML blocks all the time.
Okay, I'm getting something accomplished. Yay! I'm changing
And
my topic.
I missed it. Dang,
You
really
go.
close.
I've
Okay.
got something going.
So you're calling that tell me what you want to name that.
Upcoming due dates.
Okay, so right now it just says new HTML. If I hit the thing and say configure, I can call it upcoming assignments? Due dates?
I put due dates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you put dates in your thing, that's automatically going to show up in the calendar, but if you want to do a separate thing, you can. And then I just got a text box, so I can put it right here. And let's say I'm project 2, whatever.
Because sometimes it's like sketches and like
Okay.
right now we don't really have a way of them.
Let's say
uploading
that's an
pictures.
assignment on there, right?
Uh-huh.
And I can even, if I'm going to go up here and I can even make it hyperlink to the assignment. So let's say way down here I've got this thing that I want to make them not forget. I'm going to use this as an example. I'm going to grab that address and just Control C up here, and I'm going to make this a link. I'm going to hit the link button and link to that. Say create link, and then I'm going to go back and show you what it looks like. So if a student comes here now, every time they come to class, it's going to show this in the top left, and if
You know
you
exactly what it is.
and they can click there, and it goes right to that assignment.
I like that.
So it makes it so that you can, and like I have here my syllabus, right? I want them always to be able to have access to the syllabus or the I can statements, and I have a link there to my grade book because I don't like going to grade book setup. It annoys me, right? So if I wanted to make a link straight to my grade book, so I'm going to go open this up. I don't like going to grade book setup. That's not where I want to go. I want to go to the grade book view. Whenever I click on there, I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go up here and I'm going to just edit that thing again.
Okay.
And it's not going to work for them, by the way. So I'm going to have it say down at the bottom here. Of course, and because it says teacher, they're going to click on it because they're going to think they're going to get in your grade book, and it's just going to say unable. So now I have a link there because that other way, if I want to go to my gradebook, I just click on it and go straight to my gradebook.
Okay.
And that's just me. But you could put any number of links or stuff in here. That's what the HTML.
Okay, I might
block
not
is
use
for.
it for the upcoming due dates, but because I know, the calendar would have it highlighted. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
and you can also, there's a block that does that for you already. So if I have if I want to add that block, there is a block called upcoming events that automatically does that. It shows everything that, and I would suggest if you use that one, you put it right underneath the calendar.
Okay.
Let's see if I can get it on there. And it didn't get it there. Although they can't see the grade media block anyway. So there we go. So if I'm a student and I come in here, even if I don't want to click on the calendar, it's going to list anything that's coming due right there in upcoming events anyway.
I'll do that.
So it kind of does the same thing anyway.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to go back here and rechange it all the time, because now if I do it this way, I got to go change it. And this way, it's just going to show. It's all going to be interactive and always show what the next thing's on the. Which, by the way, they see on the other page too. When they come into the landing page, it shows any class upcoming stuff.
Okay.
I digress.
Yes.
So in physical science, went down to add a block, and one of my choices was course menu. I put it there and I love it. But then when I go to Earth Space, wait a minute.
You have to add it again because it's only for that course. When you add
There it is. Okay, and it wasn't there, but now it's there, and it's there, man.
And
Beautiful.
see those badges, when we start doing those badges, see when you log on your dashboard,
Alright.
you're going to see the badges over there you've earned on the side. Badging is a big thing in the community right now. And in fact, the one superintendent said it's huge at their school. That's why they print out the badges and put them on teachers' doors, and it becomes a competition of who's got more of the badges for some teachers. And it's probably different per grade level too. I don't know if there would be a robust competition between Mr. Swihart and Mr. Bryant in the science department, but maybe down in kindergarten where they are big on graphical stuff, they might be more apt to compete against each other to have, I've got more stickers than you. I don't know. So should I move on? Should I not move on? I don't need to move on until we're
There's so
ready.
many
Or
things
we're all
to
ready to
update.
move on.
Well, I'm just trying to get mine set up because it was not
Okay.
correct. And then, because I know with mine, I have to do differently because mine doesn't go from Moodle straight over to their grades because they're different.
Right.
I
Yeah.
have to do it. So what I'm doing is just trying to set my page up to where it's correct.
Okay.
And I needed that to remember how to get going on it, so I'm prepared. This year, we only got another month,
Yeah.
so that's what I'm trying to get ahead.
Right. And that's why I think it's not a bad idea to move this to August.
Oh, I think it would be wonderful in August.
It is for you, but it's a nightmare for me because you know how hard it will be for me to organize this when no one else is
No
here.
one's here to talk to.
Yeah.
So that's why what I really decided I need to do is have the schedule done in May. Yes, some people might leave, kind of thing, but if you know you're going to speak in August and you have it ready now,
Yeah.
So-
And now I know a little bit more now how to do some things, so if I want to do it over the summer,
Well, and see, that's what I
I'm
think
learning.
of now, is that you have all summer, but I do stuff in the summertime, or I try to, but not everyone does. Some people take their summer as their summer, right?
Yeah.
Another job.
So, or have another job, exactly that. When I was a kid, Mike Eiler's dad was the pool manager at the Eaton Pool all summer long, and he was there every day. And I don't, there's no way he could have been spending a lot of time working on a Moodle class when you have another job. So,
Wait, this previous attempts was 1 year and 209 days.
I already said number 2, and that was the number 2 thing is just moving things out of those header blocks so that the index looks like an index. Not that you can't have anything. I have some pictures in there. I have some stuff that are the ideas.
See, I'm
that
throwing all that pictures and stuff out.
Yeah,
It just makes the thing bigger.
yeah, and I've thought about that.
I thought they were cute earlier, but now I'm
Right. So if we go to my computer hardware class, oops, I clicked on something. I have little pictures at the top that
Yeah.
that go with each one of the
Whoa.
areas. Now a lot of that stuff,
What just
all that
happened?
stuff is hidden. Just so you know, let me go to the clean course view.
something crazy to think.
Okay, the thing I noticed this year going in to access other teachers for see what they're doing, it's hard for me to figure out what their assignments are or what they're missing per se. That's just
To see what the student is missing from turning it.
Right.
Okay. Well, you
If they
should
don't-
be able to go to the student's course view, and
Yeah,
I'm
and that's what I usually do.
I'm gonna.
And then because I've got two students that really have no clue what they're doing, and when I go, I say, okay, your grades, are your grades down? What are you missing?
Three bolded topics at the most.
Gotcha. Now I do. I leave everything on, and I use restrictions to turn that off. I'm trying to make sure I hit the record again after I did that. So I would say that try to move information out of the general section, take junk out of the top of your headers so they're not there. And I already said that. So. And this is what we just said. That's why I said we're going to talk about it in a minute. If you've got stuff you want always there, use this HTML block to put that there. There are things in my class that I want to always be there, and that's what HTML blocks work great for. So many teachers put all the stuff they want kids to see up in that top general thing, and then now it's fouled up the course, and it's not as clean as it was before. So, go to my other page. There we go. So, and that's what I was just showing, using the HTML block to put whatever you want to on the side that you want kids to get to. So I'm going to go to I'm going to go to my own course here because this one really doesn't have one. So here's mine. Okay, so this. I have this. These are HTML blocks. So I always want to be able to get to my teacher links where I record attendance on Dazzle or I take attendance on Moodle and to get my gradebook.
Oh,
Okay,
so I
so-
don't have to keep going through.
No,
all
I
these
made little
hoops and
links so
things
I
like
can go to
that.
that and do that really easy. I don't want to go look for something else.
I'm tired of doing
if
that.
if I want to take attendance, I
Tired
just go
of taking
"Rah," and it
attendance.
just opens up Dazzle and I go take my
I
attendance.
want them to tattoo.
If I wanted to go to my
on
gradebook,
their
I click there, and then I've got some. This is my stuff for my students. This is an
Alright, teacher
HTML block
links.
I made. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you click here. If you want to understand the retake policy, because I want kids to understand that all the time. Here's my indicators by chapter. Here's my textbook stuff, my class rules, daily attendance. They can see their own attendance there. The course syllabus. That's where they can go and see their grade page. That jumps straight to the E-Days just so they can get right there. And then that's to join my Google
Their
Classroom.
daily attendance, is that to your class or
That
to
is
school?
to my class. So you can, in Moodle, you can add an activity called daily attendance. It's a activity
I feel so stupid, I didn't know this.
that I can go and then, and I'll be honest, you can see I haven't done this week, but if I do, I can go like for the Monday, I can go and name that session, and so it defaults the word class session. And where am I at? I don't even see my little
Where am I at? If you don't know, young man.
my little thing. What? That was just the gear. Oh, okay. So I can take whether they're here, late, excused, or absence from the class. So you can make this a scored thing, and you can change this to anything you want to. This isn't a grade for my kids. It's just so I know who missed what lesson. That's what this is really for me. So if somebody's not here, I know I have to go find Sid. Probably shouldn't have this page up right now.
different groups. And I go to student view.
You just see it generically.
You see
If I want to really see what a student's seeing, I switch role to, and you have to ask me for that you
I'd
want
have
to
to
do
go
that.
to a specific student
Yeah. So I'm
in a specific group. That's okay.
So yeah. So if I want to see, for instance, I can click on people
What
here.
do my special needs kids see versus
Right. I'm gonna hide my screen.